Hey guys, welcome to the show. Reza Riffs. Uh, we got a great show for you today. Just so you know, Alan Lee will not be here. I've been getting a lot of emails about Alan. Yes, he is definitely still on the show. Just our schedules aren't lining up. He's had a rough couple months. And then with Zoom, all the schedules have to line up. So it kind of it kind of just depends. A lot of times, Alan tells me he won't be able to make it until an hour before the show. So it's hard when Alan doesn't show up. I'll get Rosie Tran or RJ Signs or Victor Pacheco to step in. But like I said, sometimes it's literally an hour before I find out Alan can't do it. And that's when I found out today. Short notice. Another thing, I've been getting a lot of emails and stuff about Norm. I appreciate that. You know, if I don't respond or if I'm very standoffish about it, it's just I'm grieving and I feel like it opens up the wound. But got a lot of good feedback on the tribute, and I do appreciate that. Yeah, a lot of comments saying I cried the entire time. I get that too. But you would too if you had a relationship with him that I did. So am I a crybaby? Maybe. I don't know. But I gotta be strong and I gotta continue. I got a couple dates coming up. October 30th at the Rec Room with Jeremy Hotz, 7 p.m. Tickets are $20. You can buy them at www.recroomhb.com. It'll be fun to get back into the shows with him. And then November 14th at the Rec Room with Corrine Olympias. I'm realizing the Rec Room's the only club that's booking me right now. Maybe because I live right down the street. I don't know. Tickets are $25, www.recroomhb.com. And then the Brea Improv with Jay Moore. I want to say November 23rd to the 26th, Thanksgiving week, I believe. Tickets are at www.jmore.com or www.brea.improv.com. Anyways, we have a great show tonight. My guest is going to be performing at the Irvine Improv on Thursday, October 7th. He's been on Comedy Central, MTV, Lopez Tonight. The very funny Rex Navarrete is going to be joining me via Zoom, and I can't wait to talk to him and get inside his head. If you like the show, subscribe, rate, and review. Tell a friend, and follow us at Reza Riffs on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and all that jazz. All right, guys, enjoy the show with Rex Navarrete.
You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Hey, Rex. This is connecting audio. Hey, Rex, how are you, buddy? Can you hear me? Hey, Rex, how are you?
Hey, good.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay?
Yeah. Zoom interviews are tough because there's always that 5-second delay. You know what I mean?
Well, we'll try to beat it today. We'll try to. Hopefully not 5 seconds, 5 milliseconds or something. We'll see. Depends on our connections. So that's the way of the world.
It seems how the worse the pandemic gets, the faster Zoom got. You know?
Maybe one day we will no longer need Zoom. We'll see. But for right now, this is how we all hook up.
Well, Rex Navarrete, thank you so much for talking with me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. This is my first time meeting you. So, yeah, thanks for inviting me onto your video podcast.
Yeah. It's actually your second time meeting me. I met you at Brea Improv about 6 or 7 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's quite what you were starting out then?
No, I was a feature at that time, but I had my own night, so I was passing out tickets for your show.
Awesome,
Yeah.
man, cool, man. How you been since then?
I've been good, man. Past 2 years have been, when you get all those dates and then they're just canceled, you're like, I feel like I have to start over, you know?
I know. No, man, it's hit all of us across the board, man. It's nice to slowly come back. You know? This was a real test for a lot of us comics, a real test.
But like the narcissism in me was like, hey, thank God it happened to everyone else, not just me.
Yeah, I know, huh? I'm like, hey, I don't worry about my one Wednesday night at the Bray Improv, but when you see these big heavyweights, their entire tour is canceled, like overseas. Oh, okay. All right, I can always reschedule Brea. I can always do mine on Zoom or something.
Yeah. But it's hard because now clubs want the guys who could sell tickets, and they're not giving a lot of the feature. I call myself a feature headliner, someone who features and can headline, but not a headliner. You know what I mean?
Okay, gotcha. Man, it's a strange business, man.
Yeah. So Rex, I wanted to get into it. I like to start off with a goofy question first.
Yeah.
So when you perform, do you prefer performing with a goatee or clean shaven?
Oh gosh. Well, I got rid of the goatee. I
see that. I
kept the mustache. I kept the mustache. It's when you get to this age, it's like you gotta claim some facial hair. I don't know. I'm too kind of old for the clean shaven look. I want to look like like I know some things.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, man. So for right now, I'm going to keep this until I absolutely need to shave it off for a project or something. But it's keeping my face warm up here in Portland.
It also gives you they say that beards and mustaches give you an older look, but for you, it gives you a nice younger look.
Really? Oh, man, I'm really working against the grain here. All right, I'll take it. All right, I don't know. I'd say people don't know how old I am. It's like it's a curveball. So yeah, I'll keep it.
It's kind of like David Spade. He looks younger with facial hair.
Yeah, right. Yeah, then when he shaves it, like, who is that old blonde guy?
Well, one of the things I wanted to ask you is because you've been doing comedy for a long time. And the stuff you talk about is very normal now, but when you first started, it was probably very taboo. Talked about being Filipino and stuff. And I wanted to ask, how was it like back then to like now it's normal? So now it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
When you were starting.
Well, I you know what? I guess I have to be the volunteer to make it normal, to make it finally, but like 3 decades to make it mainstream. It's like no one else was doing it back in the late 80s, early 90s. And man, it was tough because a lot of my other comic friends of different ethnic backgrounds. I mean the only choice was to go as mainstream, as vanilla as possible in terms of writing and how you portray yourself. But I just couldn't follow that route. I just didn't see myself. It wasn't honest for me as a path. And I guess all my stories were about me growing up as a Filipino American. These are American stories, and people always wonder, hey, will I get it? You speak English? Then you can come to my show. It's like, you can bring your own subtitles, but nope. These are American stories. And so that's just how it is. And this country takes a while for this country to catch up with something as simple as just like, hey, we're that diverse, and this is just one part of who we are. And Filipinos, we've been here for a very long time, and we got multi-generations. And so I guess that's a lot where a lot of my stories come from, is just being part of that multi-generational immigrant experience kind of thing. So yeah, back then, it was not I don't know if it was accepted, or we just, no one really heard us. No one, only they heard about us, but they never heard us. You know, no one ever listened. So it really took some time for people to finally listen. And so now it's 2021, and yeah, you know, now it's become, you know, kind of like every day. Everybody knows the Filipino. Everybody knows the Filipino.
But you were also like, you were, if not the first, you were definitely one of the first comics to bring that, you know, style.
Yeah,
up.
exactly. Yeah, really. I'll go as far as you know, to say that yeah, I pretty much pioneered the genre of Filipino American comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, there were others who were with me back in the late 80s, but they didn't stick it through. And you know, they could have been really part of the development of this genre. Maybe I just decided to go, you know, 100% forward with it, and hopefully other people will join in. So and obviously other people have. So I could pat myself on the back and say, yep, I had to develop this genre so that it could be what it is today.
It also, I don't think people realize, but it also opened the door for many Filipino comedians too. You know what I mean? Which is very inspiring, and talks about your work ethic too.
And there were other Filipino American comics before me, but they didn't. They weren't. It was a part of an old system, you know, that it wasn't safe for them to say they were Filipino. You know, like Rob Schneider, he grew up Filipino.
Yeah.
And you know, but it wasn't like, hey, that's Rob Schneider, the Filipino comic. No, that's just Rob Schneider, you know. And yeah, and it was not an easy time, especially for, you know, a guy who came before me, but he didn't take it to the level where I had. So I guess that's, you know, I had to go and do that. But yeah, he is part of that experience, and you know, I cannot fail to mention Rob, and you know, and that aspect of it. But you know, I had to look towards Hawaii if I wanted more Filipino, I guess, Pacific Islander kind of inspiration. And you know, there is Andy Bumatai out of Hawaii, whose tapes and records I would just like you know, find bootleg copies from friends of mine, you know, would bring him out to California. And it's like, who is this guy? This is amazing Hawaiian humor. It's all in English and it's relatable. And the guy is also part Filipino. And wow. So I would say Andy Bumatai was the guy that really helped me define the direction I was going to go, you know?
And another question I had for you is, because obviously you performed in the Philippines, where like before you came along, I don't know if there was an appreciation for stand-up comedy. So I feel like maybe you gave that to them.
Yep. I mean, really, when I got there was no stand-up comedy. They knew what it was. They knew what it was. They have, you know, they have reruns of Seinfeld over there, but they've never seen it live. They've never seen one of their own do it. So, I mean, there is comedy over there, but it's not stand-up, and it's their version. And you know, it's a really strong genre of comedy over there. But until I arrived in 2002, then they finally, you know, they finally got to see what American style stand-up is in the formats that we've been doing here for decades. So they've never had one of their own actually do it. So yeah, I had to bring it. And now there's a great you know, bunch of young stand-up comedians in the Philippines.
Oh, that's awesome.
Doing it our way, doing it our style. And it's amazing to watch how all of them are developing their material. And it's not all in English, which is all right, because it's the Philippines. They're doing a lot of their stuff in Filipino, Tagalog. And but the material is, you know, the stuff we talk about. I mean, really, just it's observational, just political stuff, social commentary, what it is to be Filipino. Yeah, it's amazing. So, you know, I mean, this whole pandemic has kept me away from being from that whole you know, that group doing their thing over there. I mean, they're all on lockdown themselves. So I mean, really, I mean, this is a really hard time for young performers who just started, and then the pandemic happened. So
yeah,
you know, thank God for Zoom. You get these Zoom concerts, get these Zoom stand-up comedy shows. So yeah.
Have I have another question about that, but since you brought it up,
Yeah.
like, let's get the elephant out of the room. Have you ever done a Zoom comedy show, and how do you feel about
I
it?
have. It's rough.
Yeah,
It's rough, especially when we've been working so hard, to get ready for the stage. We do this for the stage, live audience. That's but the timing is it's all about timing in the room, and your microphone and being on, and then Zoom just kills it.
I,
So I mean, really, we had to adapt, and I've done a few shows. Not the greatest, but really, it just it's the only way to keep alive,
yeah.
keep our art form alive during these times. So Zoom is it's the only place to be for a lot of us right now.
I've done 2 Zoom shows. The first one I did for my manager because like he kind of begged me to do it, to see
Okay.
because like that's how the time was going. Like, hey,
Yeah.
yeah. I was like, all right, and I remember I bombed really bad, and I was like, I
Oh,
can't
no.
do this.
I know, man. It's Zoom. Really, it's working against you. Really, nobody has a great set on Zoom. Nobody. You could drop the biggest names in the world. Nobody has a great set on Zoom.
But then I mean I toured with Norm Macdonald for 7 years, and my
Bless
entire
his soul. Lucky you. Lucky
yeah.
you.
So
Awesome.
so I don't have a job now, but not to bring up his death, but I remember I asked him, I was like, hey, how do I do a Zoom interview? And then the second one I did better because he said, just do it like you do a podcast and don't worry about, so I
Right.
feel like that made it better, but I still didn't like it. You know what I mean?
No. Those are great. That's some great advice because Zoom is more technical.
Yeah.
It really is. It's very technical. So just to resign to the fact that it is all about just a little tiny pinhole camera on your device and make sure you got some good earbuds and some microphone and that's it. Don't move around a lot. It's very technical. It's like performing from the space station, That's what it is, man. That's, expect a little slight delay and some glitches, some frozen screen. Yeah, man, that's just how it is.
Well, I look at it as a skill, kind of like roast battling. Yeah. Like I don't necessarily find it comedy, but I think it's a good skill to have underneath your belt. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the more you do it, I guess the more you get the hang of it. But never forget your chops for the stage. So, and I found out the hard way when I came back. Oh boy! After like 17 months of exile, and I did my first live gig in Vegas a few months ago. Oh man!
Were you rusty?
Oh man, I was falling apart, rusty. Like whoa! It's like forgetting parts of my bits. Oh no!
Was it an hour set?
An hour plus.
Wow.
And so yeah, it took a while to that was a long runway for that takeoff. It was a really long I was like, wow. It took a while to take flight,
Yeah.
But once you do it a few more times after that gig, then your muscle memory kicks in, everything, the rhythm comes back. But now you're just a little more worried about the audience. Are they ready? So yeah, you gotta kind of think twice about them, how they doing, because this is for a lot of them, it's their first time back inside
that's
of
true.
A venue. They got to wear a mask, or maybe they don't wear a mask, or they're trying to have a good time. It's been so long, so it's all about checking in with your audience lately.
And speaking of audience, you're going to be at the Irvine Improv this Thursday, which
is
one
right.
of the best comedy clubs in the world.
Oh yeah, it's awesome how they expanded. They moved their little club to a bigger theater there. So
so you like it as a bigger theater?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it depends on who shows up, how many folks they can always close it off half capacity kind of. They got curtains to make it a little more intimate.
Yeah.
But it's a big theater. It's a great place to perform. But yeah, it is Irvine, so a lot of folks come through, and they look out into the audience lately, and it's like, wow, I have not had this in months. So for me, it's still something to get used to. Like, wow, people are coming out. Like, oh, okay, this is what I do. This is what I do for a living.
The worst part about them moving is it's further away from the yard house. So like you have to walk a mile to get there.
I know, but they're right next to Umami Burger. So yeah. You know.
Yeah.
And they got that on the menu.
Do I want?
I know. We can always rent a yard house right afterwards. So yeah.
We could run. So I wanted to go back. I'm sorry, we got to track back a little, but
worries.
So when you did comedy at the Philippines for the first time, how were you nervous? How was that like in your mind? Like, how did you pull that off?
Wow. Well, the first gig I ever did, I was invited out there by a local magazine. It was a special event, so it was only open to like a good number of folks who were involved with that magazine, and a lot of press reporter, the media was there. But it was good. I mean, and then immediately after I started playing in local venues there, and it just really struck a chord. And I pretty much lived in Manila for almost 3 years because of all the work that was happening there in Manila and throughout Asia, like playing Hong Kong and like Australia and Malaysia, neighboring countries. It's like, heck yeah, man, Manila is like a central spot to be. So and plus comedy was kind of developing, brought over there by expats who were doing stand-up. They had stand-up in Hong Kong, stand-up, of course, in Australia, but nothing in Manila. So that's where I kind of planted myself for about 3 years.
Now, when you travel to different countries, how do you adjust your material or your delivery for their countries, or do you just do you?
Oh, well, I do try to get there earlier, like 2 days earlier, hang out with the locals and then try to learn their rhythm.
Check out their zoos and stuff. That was a bad joke, or he's disconnected. Hey, Rex. Your audio's off.
Better?
Hey, Rex.
Okay. All right. We're still recording.
I thought you hated my zoo joke. I was like,
no. No. We're back. This is Zoom. This is what happens, people.
I was like, I don't like throwing out jokes on the interview, but
oh my gosh, what happened? Let's start over. Sorry, brother. Sorry, man. Yeah.
So last thing I remember you said is you go in.
Yeah, I go into the country.
Early.
Yeah, I'll try to go into the country like 1 or 2 days early, just hang out with the locals and see what their flavor is like, see what their rhythm is like. What are they into? If there's anything local that makes them laugh, or, and maybe I can work into my, the first 10 minutes of the show, since it's my first time there. Yeah. I'll try to do a little research. And those first 10 minutes when you're doing a brand new international audience and you're a guest in their country, and you talk about their country and local spots and traditions within the first 10 minutes, you got them. The rest of the show is going to be fun, really fun.
And then before you cut off, I said, and you check out their zoos, right?
Check out I don't know. Sometimes that's a touchy subject. Zoos, what's that? Where you keep animals and feed them. Feed animals, what the hell? Zoos, what is that?
You have your own comedy layer that you produced all your specials on. Have you ever considered producing other comics, or is it just your stuff?
Yeah, not just my stuff, man. It's hard enough.
Yeah,
it is really hard to just produce your stuff. I mean, over the last few decades, putting out a good number of CDs, DVDs. That's a lot. That is a lot of work. It's a lot of time and resources and money.
Yeah.
To put into that. So I mean, if you have people who can help you out, definitely use those contacts to have them help you out and produce that stuff, because it ain't cheap. It really isn't. But now with the advent of YouTube and the internet, really you have these means of getting it out there immediately. So Yes, that's just where I'm taking a pause right now and doing that kind of stuff, and just kind of developing, a brand new hour, and maybe doing something for a big streaming service in the
Yeah.
next year. So now that cameras have gotten better, I did my last three. I let my last DVDs not in high def.
Right.
So, it's time to just release stuff in 4K, for streaming. That's the new standard. And maybe something, I might record something big again, maybe in SoCal, look for a nice beautiful theater, and record an hour special, and do it that way. We'll see what happens.
That'd be awesome. I did
what-
my hour special, and I released it right before the pandemic, and then now that's like forgotten about.
Where'd you release it?
Mad Records.
Oh, you got to re-release it.
Re-release
you
it.
got to re-release it.
Okay.
Yes,
I'll-
you have to.
I'll
Because this whole pandemic is traumatizing. Anything that happened like a month before, what? Huh? That happened? Nah, forget it. So use this time to just re-release stuff, because this whole thing is like it's like amnesia, like an 18-month long amnesia. So it's okay, man. Just do it, really, because pick up where you left off, because this whole thing just like blew out all the steam that we all had. So it wasn't right. So we all get a do-over.
That's true. We all get a do-over for specials. Out of all your specials, which one means the most to you as an artist, and then which one means the most of you as a person?
Well, say that one more time, Keith.
Out of your specials, which album means the most to you as a stand-up comedian? Like, hey, this is a great stand-up album. And then which one means the most to you as a person, where like, hey, this is my best work? It could be the same album too.
Man, yeah. I mean, in terms of the albums, the CDs, it would be the first one ever released back in, what was that?
Brown, right?
98. Yeah, Badly Brown. That was my first album. Very proud of that one, and that's, to me, to a lot of people, that's the iconic album.
Yeah,
that's the album that kind of set the standard for what I was going to do for the next years to come, and also, for all the up and coming, other young Filipino American comics, that was the album, to study from.
Yeah.
And that was the album that went overseas. That I would get emails and letters from active service military members, fighting in Afghanistan and Iraq, or over in Iraq, saying, hey, this is the album keeping us company,
oh, that's awesome.
In the foxholes, keeping us company in the foxhole. These were young Filipino American kids, overseas fighting, and it's like, little big brother Rex was keeping them company, over there with the album. So that meant a lot to me.
You're a big supporter of the troops. Have you ever performed overseas for them?
I have. Yes, I did. 2016. I was in South Korea, so I did all the bases.
Yeah,
that was awesome. That was awesome to be in South Korea performing for the troops out there. So yeah, I would love to do that again. I think every comic should enlist their talents and work for the troops.
Yeah.
If you ever get the opportunity, do it. It's gratifying. The pay is decent, but it's the experience of being able to go where they are, wherever they're stationed, and bringing on a lot of back home to them, and making them laugh for a little bit, because what they do for a living, what they're doing for us that's some heavy stuff. So if you ever get the chance as a comic, go. It's totally enriching.
I've done it, but I haven't gone like overseas. There's an Irvine base that I did.
Yeah.
So I consider that for the troops, because they're troops, but I've never gone to like overseas. So I don't feel I have done. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Like, I haven't had the experience.
Any way you can, I mean, if they're active duty, because they take you with them. They do. You take the time to make them laugh for a little bit, and just kind of so they can just relax and just be one of us again. So that's it. So yeah, man, do that. Just keep doing that. But if you get the chance, man, jump on board. Just get out there. It's awesome.
I feel like I have to be a big name to do that, so people can.
No, you don't have to be, man. Sometimes you just got to know, who's putting these tours together. God, it's been years for me. I only did it one time, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of once it starts to come back, I don't think people are touring and doing military tours just yet. I think they're waiting.
Well,
but,
when you do it again, I'll go with you so you can protect me.
Okay. Can you lug 90 pounds? Yeah. It's all meals ready to eat in your pack.
Yeah. Now, Rex, I have three more questions for you, actually. When you did your MTV show Rex in the Philippines, was there any chance or talk that it was going to go here?
Nah, it was something I wanted to do just for the Philippines.
Okay.
With all the comedy work, the stand-up and the touring that I was doing out there, it was fun to collaborate with a bunch of writers, a few directors, and a great cast and crew of people who helped me out with this thing. So Rex in the City was a one-time deal I did for MTV Philippines. And man, that was fun. That was a lot of hard work, man. Just shooting on location. But being able to be that one, American comic who was actually doing a comedy special out there for the local audiences there. So hopefully I can get those uploaded onto the web somehow. I'm gonna talk to the folks in charge of all that footage. Maybe we can release it for the American audience here.
They should, because I would love to watch it. Like
it was fun to make, man. It was fun. It was goofy, Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun to make.
One of the things I love about you is because a lot of comedians. By the way, I know you're thinking if I'm blind because his eyes shuttered. I'm not. Just the light is.
Yeah, man.
I could see. It's
okay.
But
you're shooting from a penitentiary. It's okay.
But no, one of the things I love about you is because like a lot of comedians, when they do stand up, they'll do stand up to get into acting. And if I'm being honest, maybe that's why I started doing stand up. But the longer I did stand up, I no longer really care about being acting. And it's like, you're just a stand up. That's all you care about. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the funny thing is, when people don't realize that stand up comics are actually actors. We're writers. We're directors. We're actors. We're performers. Like, you can't do stand-up if you don't know how to act.
That's true.
Bottom line. Now the other way around. Hey, I'm an actor. I just got into town, and I want to try doing stand-up. No, that's not how it works. Sorry, you're going the wrong direction. Stay in your lane.
Yeah, I don't want to say any names.
I give them hell. That's what I do. I give them hell. It's like, no, stay out of our lane. No. You don't get to just because we're doing it and it looks fun. This ain't fun. It's hard. It's hard. And then when they get up on stage and they're like, I had a horrible set. Yeah, because you suck. You shouldn't be on stage. Just work on your 8x10. Work on your headshot, bro. God. Yeah, really work on your headshot. There's no way you're gonna give us a good 10-minute spot, dude. No.
Yeah.
Get off our stage. This is just for us.
Music to my ears.
Exactly. God, we're actors. Sorry, we're directors, writers. We do our own catering too. How's that? Huh? Yeah, man. They don't understand the multi-disciplines, multitasking going on that same stage when we're up on stage with the mic. It's a lot of things going on. A lot. And it's not easy.
I don't want to say any names, but I did a show once with Jeremy Piven, and he asked me, he's like, how'd I do? And I just looked at him. I was like, you still talk to John Cusack?
They changed the subject. Oh, yeah. I know. Thank you for doing that, Keith. Thank you.
Because I'm a huge
You know,
John
but then again,
Cusack fan.
oh my god. Oh boy. Please stay in your lane, people.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane. This is for us, real stuntmen. We're, you know, we do our own stunts. Yeah.
Is it easier for you? Because I know you do a lot of interviews. Is it easier for you to be interviewed by like comedians or people who are kind of in the comedy gang, or is it easier for like just writers and journalism?
Yeah, I prefer being interviewed by people who know what we do, like who've been in it. You know, other comic writers, people in the field, stand-up comics. You know, because you know what it takes to be up on that stage and hold that mic for however long. You know what we have to put in and what we have to sacrifice. So you know, your point of view is shorthand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shorthand language between me and you. And if I was being interviewed by another comic, it's a very shorthand language, you know. And yeah, man, we can just cut right to the chase, you know. Really, it's like, yeah, comics, we speak comic language, man, and sometimes we don't speak at all. That's part of the language.
Yeah,
you know? It's like, yeah, everyone else, blah 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 blah. Like,
stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane, actor.
Now, in the land of Rex, what are the three? I'm sure there's way more, but what are the three cities that you travel to where? Because let's be honest, comedy is also a business where, like, when I travel, I always worry about the numbers and all that stuff. Where are there three cities where you could just go and be like, you know what? I don't really have to promote. I know I'll be fine.
Oh wow. I'll say San Francisco would be the first one because that's my hometown. It's where I grew up. So the whole Bay Area, that's cool. And then pretty much, I don't know how, I'm not a resident of LA, but I've always had luck with Southern California. So that's always been a great place to go to, and it's pretty spread out. Gosh, third city, Manila. It's got to be Manila. Yeah, my other hometown. So yeah. So because people get a kick out of seeing the guy who started it all, and for me, I get to do material I can't do here.
Yeah.
So I've got stuff that I only do overseas because they're not going to get it over here. It's a little too specific, too local, too inside kind of thing. So yeah, so Manila, it's a different thing for me to perform over there. And like you said, don't have to worry about the numbers. And if the numbers don't add up, you still have a great set because you're back in your element. That's my element over there.
I think that's a problem I'm gonna have to like seriously get used to, because like I never really cared about it because I was like, you know what, Norm's gonna sell out anyway. You know what I mean? But now I'm by myself, so I'm like, holy Lord, I'm scared.
Man, but take all those lessons, man. Really, you unlike other comics would have killed to be working and apprenticing under Norm all those years. So yeah, you better not piss him off, man. You got to take all those lessons and you got to apply them to now and moving forward. You got to, man. You're probably in one of the best master classes ever. So man, use it. Don't waste it.
Yeah. It's been a rough couple of weeks for me, but I wanted to ask you, and this question is kind of like sensitive, and if you don't want to answer, you could just hit the pass button. I get it. But when I go on the road and I do stand up, I go to the open mics, and because I always perform, even if it's at an open mic or a show, I'll still do it. I'm not very good at open mics, but I'll still go. I see a lot of comics. I'm just gonna say it. They kind of take your jokes, and I wanted to know, like, is that a problem that you've experienced, and how do you handle that?
It can go many directions, but being in the business this long and being this influential within my own genre of Filipino comedy, it was bound to happen to see some of my past material that is so obscure kind of make their way up onto someone's set. And I've had to confront, one or two young comics and gave them the opportunity then and there. Hey, man, it's time to fess up. That's my bit. And they just wouldn't relent. They just said, no, I wrote that. No, that's mine. Okay, well, we'll never work together again. How's that?
Yeah.
So yeah, you just got to be business. You got to take care of your business. You got to protect your business, and what you write is sacred. Norm would tell you this, man. We come from you gotta come from that old school tradition of like, if you wrote it, it's yours forever.
Yeah.
And if someone finds a way to sneak it into their set, they're gonna have to answer, if not to you, then to the gods of comedy, who are gonna strike them down and give them their comeuppance, because that is sacred. Our material is sacred. I mean, yeah, it's for these young bucks who just want to lift it off you. It's like, yeah, it's okay, you won't miss it. Like, no, even that very obscure bit that I no longer do, but it's on one of my past albums. Yeah, that I wrote that, and that time, struggling with that routine, that was my struggle during that time, and that's mine forever. So you're gonna do that, then yeah, the word's gonna get out. You're a thief, and thieves don't fare well. But sometimes, as you've seen in this industry, thieves do very well in stand up, and
it's so odd how that happened. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. Yeah. It's I don't know. Like, I still feel like, I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm a feature headliner, so I have a small cult just from like touring with Norm and stuff, and I see every now and then I'll see someone take one of my jokes, but it doesn't really bother me because I know I wrote it, and I also know they don't have autism. So like, it's kind of, because like my act is talking about having autism, so I don't really care. Right. You know what I mean? But I could see in your position, someone who's pioneered it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I don't know. So I see it in your eye too. In my eye, it's just like, oh, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you know what? It's good to have a lot of material and still be able to write a lot of material. Like a good friend of mine, Dan Gabriel, another really great Filipino American comic. He gave me one of the coolest compliments, like, "Hey, Rex, you've forgotten more material than most people actually have." It's like, yeah, okay, all right, I'll take that, Dan. It's like, yeah, so there's a good number of us that have each other's back. Like, yep, that's definitely not yours. I know who wrote that. You better fess up. You know what? All right, if you're gonna keep playing that game, then yeah, you're not gonna work. Yeah. You really aren't gonna work. And so just let them find out the hard way, really. In this day and age, stealing, it doesn't pay. It really doesn't pay. You can't make a whole career out of stolen jokes. And there's enough stories of comics, being called on it and losing everything.
Yeah.
Because this is an honor system. It still is. I'd like to think it is. It's still an honor system that we abide by. And and if you don't believe in the honor system and you keep doing that, there's enough dark alleys in this galaxy for you to meet,
yeah,
made up with the wrong person at the wrong time. Yeah, exactly, man. It's exactly, because this stuff is sacred to us. Our material is our material. We fight tooth and nail to get it just right, and it comes from really dark spots in our lives sometimes. So people, you don't have a right to take it from us, and this is our material to bring, happiness to other people, all the crap they're going through, I'm taking my crap and making your crap not so crappy.
Rex, I want to respect your time, but I have one more question, if I may.
Go for it, man.
This question is more about me, because in my comedy, I would say I'm the worst. I'm very bad at handling hecklers. And I wanted to ask your advice on how I don't know if you get heckled a lot, but what are some ways for you to overcome that? Because I always just move on to the joke. I don't really acknowledge it, but I feel that's also a sign of weakness.
I know. No, don't see it as a sign of weakness. I mean, to be a comic, you got to be sensitive. You got to be sensitive. You got to feel everything around you. You know, really, you have to. Otherwise, you're not on top of your room. You got to be in charge of your room. So, I mean, what helps is get to the club early. Just check out all the tables as they're filling up. See who the guests are. You know, the customers, and start taking mental notes. Like, oh, there's one section over there, a little chatty. Hey, a party going on, birthday party over here. And there's one guy by himself, and he's not. You know, it's kind of like strange. You know, just map out the room.
That guy might be Keith Reza.
Yeah, no, just map out the room and just make little mental notes, and also let the club know, hey, this is going to be a crazy night. So could you get your guys, just keep your extra ears and eyes open, for the crowd. Just make sure they're calm and everything. And anything goes down, you take care of it. Just, as a courtesy, the clubs have to take care of you. Especially if you're new to the club. You're new to the club, you don't know the audience, and they don't give you any forewarning. Like, yeah, we got a rough crowd. They should tell you that. So at least not to, just to bring some extra armor with you. You got to bring some extra armor.
Yeah.
Just read the audience as soon as you can, and try not to go too early in the set. See how other comics are faring with the crowd. So, it's just those really simple managerial stuff. Because when us as stand-up comics, we have to be our own road managers most of the time.
That's true. Yeah.
We got to take care of the client ourselves. We got to make sure we're good to go. The room is ready. Otherwise, if you ain't ready, that's what your manager's for. You gotta prepare for all that stuff. So, maybe you got some material that that'll get them going, or just get their attention right away. So, you might have to switch up the order with your stuff, but it's your stuff. But now that just shows you're in command of the room now. You're in command of the room. But you got to get the club in on it. The venue's got to be in on it too. Otherwise, word's going to get around. That's a horrible place to play. Because that'll affect their bottom line, their economics, their income,
Here's what I say with the heckler.
Great room, because, the manager takes care of it. Yeah, what do you do, man?
Here's what I say with the heckler. Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. Put on your hazards. Stay on your lane.
Well, Rex, where can the folks at home follow you at?
Oh man, everyone can just find out what I'm doing just through my website, rexnavarrete.com. Otherwise, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. But just hit me up on my website, and just I think all the links are there. But I'm all over social media, so I'm kind of catching up with everybody else. Making sure that people know where the next gigs are.
Well, Rex, thank you so much for saying yes. I get 1,000 no's before I get a yes, and thank you for saying yes, because I really enjoyed talking with you.
Yeah, man. No, that's a real pleasure, Keith. A real pleasure. We'll bump into each other on the road. We'll see.
Right.
We'll see each other soon.
If I'm free, I'm gonna go say hi to you at Irvine.
Yeah. Come hang.
All right. Bye, Rex. Have a great day.
Take care, Keith.
Bye. All right. Bye. All right, guys. Subscribe, rate, review, and go see Rex at the Irvine Improv on Thursday, October 7th. Tickets can be at www.irvine.improv.com. That was my interview with Rex Navarrete. Support him, and that was awesome, guys. Can't wait to see you guys at a live show. Also, I'm on Cameo if you need those cameos. www.cameo.com/Keith Reza. I'll give you a cameo. All right, guys. If you like this interview, subscribe, rate, review, and tell a friend. All right. Have a good day.
You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.